saying, yes, I'm here.
Okay, all right, okay. I'll keep everybody busy for the next 3-4 minutes, please. Thank you.
Yep. How's everybody doing tonight?
They won't be able to talk back. You might be the only one talking.
Oh, okay. So
Only the panelists can talk.
okay.
You're,
All right.
you're
We're
gonna
gonna
have
have
to tap dance there, Teresa.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Well,
or we can ask Donna to sing for us tonight.
if Donna wants to sing, that would be beautiful too. Or does she want me to talk?
I don't know where is she now, but I think she logged it. Here she is. Let me see if Donna wanna talk.
Yeah, that would be beautiful.
Right now, I'm just taking the garbage out, Nav. Sorry about that. But I'm not
No
singing
problem.
for the street. So,
Oh, okay. Well, when you come back, Donna?
okay.
Yeah, I vote for Donna singing.
Oh,
All right.
really?
Oh, all right.
Excuse me. I didn't know that there was a vote here. How did I get into this? Excuse me.
Oh, yeah. A little bit of competition here, my friend.
Oh,
Gotta go
no.
with the flow.
Yes.
And who is it that's, oh, I see. Well, he's a musician. I think he should be doing the singing and playing tonight. That's who should be
Of
doing it.
course. We're gonna have
That's
some.
right.
Come on up to
Come on,
Wasaga
David.
Beach Thursday night.
It's only on a Thursday night.
Well, if you want to bring me in for a special show, I mean, the internet, I know people were doing it because, when you're locked in your house, you gotta find something to do. But I just find that the sound quality when you're playing over a Zoom is very weak, number one. And obviously, number two, you've got no immediate feedback from your audience. But I think most importantly, the sound is weak. So, there's nothing like live music to fill a room, right?
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's so true.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, we'd love to hear you, David.
Well, thank you very much. So, whenever Nav is ready to start with back in-person meetings, I'll be there with my guitar.
That's nice. That's nice.
Well-
And we'll have a group sing along.
Well, we are doing a
Sounds
one
great.
live event on April 23rd.
April 23rd.
It will be a special program for one day. It's
Uh-huh.
about power sales and so on. We have a very nice location on Baby Golf Club,
Right, yeah.
and hoping to have some good stuff together. Maybe we'll have some Sunday brunch together. So it'll be
Nice.
reconnecting with those people, but only
Great.
a handful selected
Great.
people only.
Great idea.
And then
Be
we
nice
plan
to
to do it later on as well. These nowadays all these clubs, everything else is way expensive. It's not the good old days. Things have changed.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, it is the time to get cracking. It's 7:08. Just give me green signal. Ready to rock and roll. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Navtaj Chandhoke. I'm the founder of this club. Started in April 2005. Good thing is we never missed a meeting so far in the last 18 years. Consistency, I guess, or a passion, or you can call it both. And that's the fun part of it. And we have people all across, a lot of fun, a lot of very high caliber people in this room. And sometimes these people are the movers and shakers. They're action takers. They do things which a lot of people will not even dream about it. So this is what it is. So why John Real Estate Club? This is the only club where you will find that we have been there for a while, since actually 93, when we started the networking in 2005, but been in business for 30 plus years, teaching networking all across Canada in about 29 different cities. And thank God there was a COVID in one way, it put us into Zoom, so which is a lot more convenient for a lot of people. Now we can have people here from all across Canada, and it's a lot of fun though. So anybody who looking to high performance real estate investors, this is the place to be. So moving forward, network to multiply. You can pitch your deals. If you're a member, if you're not, you will not get a chance not to do so. Global Mail have written something which a lot of people don't do every day. Not every day. So often I see people make one stupid mistake. And the statement I gave on November 25th, 2009 to Global Mail, we focus on education, market research, and due diligence. All three things are so important that a lot of people have overstretched themselves when money was very cheap. Money goes a little expensive. Now they go through the bankruptcies, the power sale, the foreclosures, you name it. And they have no plan what to do when things happen or things change. And we are dealing with a lot of people who have forgot to do some basic due diligence. We have a few cases where two gentlemen, I believe David Grossman know both of them. And they bought a house, not realizing the house is sitting on the mud and it's falling apart. And now this thing is misrepresentation or whatever it is. The gentleman is losing everything what he got, and he have a house worth 1.4. He's gonna lose it, that one too, plus all the investments. And we are in the trenches with him to work it out. And again and again, education, due diligence, research, a very important part of it. Otherwise, you're going to end up buying a lemon, and nobody wants your lemonade, by the way. This is an article about a year or so. It's a paid article from Toronto Star about foreclosure. This is where we help families out. It's a little story. It's interesting how people perceive to it, though. So this is something we're hearing a lot in two different versions of it. Let me just give you a little bit of explanation how these things works. Now, people don't realize that there are two aspects of it. One aspect is inflation, and how about house prices? The house prices have almost grown into 4 times in less than 20 years. When inflation is also going to follow that, when there's cheap money, people start buying a lot more than what they can handle, not realizing it. The honeymoon period is only for a short-term basis. And when honeymoon is over, the reality hits in, and a lot of people are in deep, deep water. That is not only the case for average investor. This is happening to corporations. A lot of corporations are going to be sharing with you how a lot of REITs are in trouble who own office towers, and how many office towers are available for us for a conversion. And this is amazing that how this technology have changed and how it has impacted the real estate though. Real estate, again, no matter which way you look at it, it is something solid. I've been doing this for 40 plus years. I'm a little old man. Here is something a lot of you ask me all the time. I just thought I should share with you. Majority of the Canadians don't use all the benefits. You're paying 56% of your income toward taxes. Hello, you want to utilize the benefits? Go to canada.ca/for English in services or benefits/finder HTML. Please do me a favor. I'll hang on to this website for a second or two. Please either take a picture with the camera. It'll be something will be very beneficial. Consider it a gift from us to you, but it's very powerful. These are from federal and provincial. And there are a lot of municipal and regional, and a lot of them come from the crown corporations. Majority of people don't realize that we have several different layers of the government agencies where we pay them, and these are the benefits one must enjoy. You're paying the premium for it, why not take advantage of it? That's something very, very powerful, and you may not realize that can apply to you, to your children, to your grandparents, and the neighbors if you like. This is good news. Canada is hitting almost 40 million population, about 1 million in last 1 year alone, or 607,000 non-resident, which are students or other people coming in, about 438,000 immigrants. So this is the first year ever that we have the humongous growth in population. What does that mean in simple English? A lot more rentals required for all these new people coming in. Not every new Canadian comes with tons of money. Sometimes they have to take some time, and some of them will come very large amount of money though. So we know how to deal with both of them. And this is the part where you find from time to time, the timely information is very helpful for you. This is something we talk about. All of a sudden, people realize it from last February to 2022 to February 2023. What happened? Chaos, confusion. Interest rate is going up. Is interest rate going to go up tomorrow again? We're going to have expert David Grossman going to be giving us some enlightenment there. And there are some people, who are not able to take advantage of this market, and some are throwing their towels already in. Sad but truth. This is something about Toronto. One thing you have noticed: the rents are up, inflation is up, food prices are up, everything is up. How about your salary? How about your cash flow? That's the issue. So can we create? Yes, we can. There are some dramatic changes coming up on different levels, and we intend to kind of follow it. Sometimes we are the leaders in it though. So one thing comes to Toronto real estate, it has been able to withhold its value. Since only 89, when everything happened, it took 40 years to come back. But again, there are some disturbances, and as an expert real estate investor, you're ready for it. We've been through this several times before, and ever. Life goes on if you have done your stress test in such a manner, and if you're able to manage and hold on to the properties. Here is the good news. Renters are 3 times more than the homeowners. 2/3 of Canadian owners own a home, but there's a huge demand for rental market. Can you create a lot of rental units? Absolutely. There are programs available, there are funding available for you. And the funding can be various, by the way, from BC all the way to East Coast and Maritimes, in all those 4 provinces. You look out across Canada, they are giving away money if you can create affordable housing program, AHP. So those who do not know that, maybe should look into some of the directories we publish and check it out. You don't need to spend your own money. Money is given to you for free. It's forgivable, but there's an obligation for a while to pay the money back to. A couple of things I want to bring your attention to quickly. We have a few things coming up. Our sale training is coming up on 23rd of April. That'll be live in Baby Golf Club. We have apprenticeship, which is ongoing basis. How to buy a deep discount real estate. This will be on this Sunday. After huge demand that we have to do it on Sunday. And eyewitness training, which will be the real estate auctions that will be done in person, and that'll be on May 11th. All these things have very high value. Those who haven't seen it ever, you're in for a shock. Those who are going to see it first time, they're going to have, oh my Lord. Does it happen in Canada? Yes, it does happen in Canada, ladies and gentlemen. And some of you may be brand new at it. I've been around this for, oh my God, I'm an old man. Okay. Stop being old. Okay. So a lot of stuff is happening, and there's a lot to learn. One of the best way of learning is in person, seeing the real deal. And that's the message for you. Those who are interested in it, let us know. We'll be happy to see. And everything what we do it a little differently than a lot of the people. The Canada land of empty houses, this is where we found that's why they have to introduce this empty house vacant home taxes from the federal, provincial to the city. And some people don't get it. And we still have a huge shortage, no matter where you are in Canada. The rentals are are a big problem for all of us. Cash before you invest anywhere, please check with Ontario Security Commission if this company is good. Check before you invest.ca. That is must for you before you invest with anybody, period. So I'm gonna skip this one for a minute. Help must sell in 30 days. These are the headlines. These headlines can be very disturbing for a lot of people, though. Why they are disturbing? What is it? There are a lot of things happening in the market, and a lot of people are not so lucky that they have extra couple $1,000 to pay extra per month. And David is going to enlighten us how some people who got themselves in a pickle, how they can get out, or if there is a way out. Some people may not have much choice. As we speak, the power sale of foreclosures are up, and I'm going to give you an idea how many lenders are the private lenders, are the mortgage investment corporations, are the banks or trust companies, are the credit unions, and this information can be shared, and you can make a very intelligent decision. Hey, which way to go? This is something which is again happening in Toronto as we speak in GTA. GTA is the mecca for construction for many, many years. We are still the number one, almost across the globe, actually. And a lot of people who have bought, and they got, we call it speculation investing, pre-construction. They buy it for 50 to 100,000 to 150,000 up, and hoping when everything's ready, they'll be able to flip it or assign it. Now they introduce a flipping tax, which has no meaning to us investors. It does not affect the investors. And now their situation is they can't get the mortgage. Even when they get a mortgage, the property will carry a negative cash flow. For example, a friend of mine just bought a condo, brand new, $525,000. Carrying cost is $4,000 a month. Rent $2,500. Now he's in a situation, I'm not sure how long he's gonna last, but it's this little condo, the cheapest one, $525,000 for carrying cost is only $4,000. Yike. And the builder is being fussy. You cannot do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, is occupancy. And there are a lot of people like that. There are 32,000 condo will be ready, about 19,000 for 6 months or 7 months. The rest of them will be ready to be occupied, and then this thing gonna close. Talking about the condos, I got a couple of situations here. David, can you turn yourself? Can you turn your mic on?
Sure.
Do you remember Mr. Johnson?
Mr. Johnson, not sure.
Here's a typical. I will not say anything more than that. Mr. Johnson owned a condo. It's in the West End. It's built about 3 or 4 years ago. Okay, and this condo have 2 outstanding lawsuits. There are about 1,800 condos altogether and 3 beautiful buildings. And lenders are shying away from financing the deal, even up to 50%. David, how do you finance a deal when there are a couple of lawsuits against the condo corporation?
Well, you have to be very careful what you get into. You know, that underscores the importance of getting pre-qualified and also buying with a financing condition, because there are some condos out there that are on lenders' blacklists. And, you know, you could go into something thinking you're getting a great deal, but if you can't finance it, you're going to have a problem. So, I mean, there are lenders who may be prepared to take a risk on something like that, but you need to go into it with your eyes open. If you're assuming you're going to get bank money and you find out that it's on everybody's blacklist, you know, that's why it's important to do your homework before going firm on something like that.
Well, I'd like to share something with you. We have our new guest, Jyoti Chaudhry. Are you there, Jyoti?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Jyoti did a deal. Okay, Jyoti did our deal many years ago, 2, 3 years, maybe 4 years ago, where we bought the condo almost at the half price. That was on the it was Battersea Finch. And the problem was the same condo building. I believe it was something King something, whatever the name of the street is. We bought the condo, I think we believe for like 160 or 180 or something like that. And they were able to resold it for about 360 or 375. And the issue was the same problem. There was an outstanding lawsuit. There are 3 lawsuits. One was slip and fall. So anytime you're buying a condo, it's not as safe as you think. You need to have a lawyer like Jyoti. She will look through it. She will say, okay, don't buy this. I see a red flag here. Majority of the lawyers will not look into it. An outstanding lawsuit, that's a red flag, but also it can be opportunities. So this is something, you need to be aware of it. But again, some of these people who are putting a deposit, they don't have the rest of the money. The HELOC have dried up and the banks are saying, sorry, the value have dropped out or the mortgage rates are up. So whatever the reasons are, there are a lot of condos out there which can be available for you, and be aware before you buy them altogether. This, if you are not in a newsletter, Flipping for Profit RCA newsletter, that's the best thing you can do. And we're going to talk about interest. What happened when I started my business in 81, 24th of August? What was the prime rate? 22.75%. Can you make on that kind of money? Yes, you do. The funny thing is a lot of people don't realize that money can be made no matter which market is in. Why? It's just that your strategies. If you're only going to be scared because, hey, everybody's not buying, I'm not one of the herd, everybody's buying in the herd mentality, that mentality may not work for you. Actually, as a matter of fact, you're supposed to be different every time. And if you are different, then you may gonna find, hey, it's easier for me to do deals where other will not, there's zero competition there. Just thought I should share with you. Talking about interest rate, these are the interest rates that the bank have done since 2010. If you notice that the rates, it's kind of funny that how these rates have been from 2010 onward. And because of 2008, whatever happened in meltdown in the US, we all have to, we enjoyed part of it. And now that party is kind of over. Financial mortgage relief measure to help struggling homeowners. This is something, this is a big time issue. A lot of families are in trouble. They're trying to figure it out, how to help out. Extended amortization, 35-year, 40-year, 50 years, even then, there are some issues. So I'm going to keep you updated with the help of David and so on. And you should look into it very carefully because anytime there's a headline in a newspaper, it will have some ripple effect in the market. Though. Just be aware of it though. This is Canadian homeowners, percentage home buyers concerned about rent to qualify for mortgage. This is unfortunate, but it's there. Majority of the Canadians are concerned about the mortgages. So we're going to bring our specialist, David Grossman. He's a brother from another mother. We have known each other. He's the one who helped me to start up our networking marketing in April 2005. David, it's all yours, my friend.
Thanks very much, Navtaj. I appreciate it. It's nice to be here again. Enjoying some beautiful spring weather. I think the spring weather is bringing the spring market. We'll talk a little bit about rates, but I also want to talk about opportunities and different types of mortgages that you can get to support the types of business opportunities that there are out there. So, we still have this business about upward pressure on rates, downward pressure on rates. I mean, your head could spin after a while talking about this stuff. But so I'll keep it short on the subject of rates, and then we'll move on to opportunities. Inflation is showing some signs of slowing, but at the same time, employment is still strong, and the economy is, fundamentally strong. Along with that, so as a result, you have upward pressure, you have downward pressure at the same time. Bottom line here is in Canada is that we are almost certainly at the peak. There is a very small chance of a rate decrease tomorrow when the Bank of Canada meets, maybe 10% chance. According to money traders, that's what they're pricing in. But probably we won't start to see decreases for another few months, but hopefully we will start seeing some decreases in this year. Okay. Now, I think it's interesting because, we've heard, okay, the market's taking a pause. What's going to happen? But, we've talked about it before. There's massive demand for real estate in GTA especially, and then spreading out, beyond the GTA, which is the market where I'm mostly active as a mortgage broker. And I got a call from someone the other day who was looking in Newmarket. And they said to me they need to be pre-qualified because they have to go in firm. Now, listen, when we were in the height of COVID and interest rates were down around 1.5%, and the market was going nuts. Yeah, I got a lot of calls from people who said they need to go in firm because there's 30 offers on every property. And if they don't go in firm, then they have no chance. And I thought those days were done. But this guy is telling me he's looking in Newmarket, and for every offer, every property he goes after, he says there's 10 other offers. So, I think it depends on the market that you're in, but there are definitely signs of life out there. I think prices are starting to go up already. So much demand. So how do you get into the market? How do you take advantage of opportunities? Well, I'll talk about a couple of different types of mortgages that we do. One of the big ones is for self-employed people, for entrepreneurs, because what happens typically with self-employed people is that they are preparing their tax returns in such a way to minimize taxes. But the first thing that happens when they go to the bank is the bank says, show me your tax returns. So, I think our friend Jerry Hogenhout has said it before. I think that, and I've heard this from banks, that the banks are working closely with CRA, and they want to make sure you pay your taxes. And if you're not paying a lot of tax, then you essentially get penalized because now the bank tells you don't qualify for the mortgage that you want, whether it's your first property or 10th property, whatever the case. It's an ongoing issue for self-employed people. And there's lenders out there that will work from the top line. They don't want your tax returns. They want to see bank statements, commission statements. They work from the top line, and they assume some reasonable amount of expenses. And that's a very big business. And also, individuals who have multiple properties, the way the banks treat rental income. I mean, frankly, it's a bit of a joke, really, the way the banks treat rental income. If you think you're going to offset, if you think your rent is going to offset your mortgage and property taxes and other expenses, and therefore the bank's going to give you the money, well, forget about that, because that's not how they look at it at all. But there are many lenders, as both prime and non-prime lenders, who treat things in a different, who look at things in a different approach, which is why you need to have a good mortgage broker. And the last category I'll mention, because we see a lot of this, and Navtaj, you were alluding to this at the beginning. You were talking about people who are REITs, who are converting, let's say, office buildings or retail, whatever the case, into residential. If you have a project like that, or let's say you find a property that's maybe in a state of disrepair, it's not tenanted, and you go to the bank, well, the bank says, well, where's the income? Well, there's no income right now. We have to make some improvements. We have to make some changes, and we're going to improve our income on the building. Yeah, but there's no income now. So banks are not very creative when it comes to that sort of thing. But there's many lenders out there, both institutional and private, where if you have a little bit of vision, if you have some cash, they will back you if what you're looking to do makes sense, especially if you have a track record. And if you don't have a track record, you can learn, but it might also help to partner with somebody who has a track record, because they like to see that you have a resume, you have some experience, you know what you're doing. But at the same time, if you've got some equity in a property, there's also lenders out there who they won't ask any questions. If the equity's there, they'll lend you the money. And then it's up to you to make it happen, improve the rent. You can refinance once the rent is improved. You can sell it at a higher price, do what you have to do. So those are the types of opportunities that are out there. And you know, we've talked a lot about rates, but again, I think we're at the peak. There's lots of opportunity out there, whether, you know, it's somebody who calls and says, I can't close on my condo, like Navtaj was saying earlier. They can't close on it because the value is down and interest rates are higher. Or somebody who can't refinance their mortgage because their private lender says, no, you got to pay us out. So there's opportunities of all sorts. And if you need my assistance, you see the number on the screen. Don't hesitate to give me a call.
Thank you, David. David Grossman, rockyourmortgage.ca. And I believe he can hang around. If you got any question, please, you can put in Q&A, and he'll be more than happy to speak to you individually. Or the best thing for you to do is just give him a call at 416-876-2031. Send him a text message and set up a timing with him tonight, and then you're all set to go. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Taxes. Nobody likes that. 56%, 58%, my Lord. And the taxes never stop, by the way. You need to learn more about the taxes. This is an average Canadian pay in taxes. Sad but true, but we pay a lot more taxes than a lot of other countries, but we do not get to enjoy all the benefits as comparatively. So to discuss all that, so this is something I always talk about, it separating the dogs from the sleeping giants. And to advise us, to help us tonight, gonna bring our special guests tonight. Special guest is, okay, hold on, Gary Hogan. By the way, he's one of the only Canadian licensed in 5 different and separate regular investment marketplaces. By the way, he's an investor himself, and he's going to enlighten us tonight about your taxes. Those who have not done your taxes, those who are looking into investing in real estate, things are done differently for investors. They are not done as average people do. So Jerry, are you there, my friend?
Hey, Nav, I'm here.
Oh, good. Can you turn your camera on too, or no?
I'm trying to, but I think it says video host has to disable it or something.
Okay, no problem. Let me see if I can turn the camera on, sir. Go ahead.
Okay.
You can start.
Okay, so I just want to see here for a sec. Okay, anyway, again, Nav, thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity to speak to your group, as I always do. Yeah, nice to hear some tax talk from my friend David. The banks got, anyway, David covered that topic. And as Nav says, taxes are a big enemy to us. Anyway, so what we're talking about tonight, something you may have heard of this. I just want to touch on it. I don't want to go in depth on this because it is a deep topic, but it's the underused housing tax, the UHT. Some of you may have heard about it. Others not. If you haven't heard about this, beware. Okay, this is a tax that's going to catch a lot of people, and it's going to catch a lot of people that wouldn't expect to be caught on this. So what it is, it started. It's actually it's something. I mean, we in the tax business we're quite critical of what is evolved in this tax. It started with a few years ago. You may remember the government. You know, the craziness in the housing market, they were blaming a lot of the foreign investors and the rents, because they were saying a lot of the foreign investors were just buying homes and keeping them vacant. So it started out that they were going to tax the foreign owners that bought properties in Canada, but didn't rent them out, that kept them vacant. And we all thought, I mean, I'm sure most real estate investors thought, well, that's not a bad idea. I mean, you know, if it's vacant and you're not renting it out, sure, why not tax it? So it started out as a good idea. Now that it's implemented just recently, it has stretched so far out. Now it catches almost everybody. Okay, it catches all of us that own property, and we have to determine whether we need to file. What I want to be very clear about is there's two components to this thing. One is filing of forms, and the other is paying of tax. You might say, the house I own is not vacant, so I don't need to file anything. Wrong, okay? Lots of people are going to get caught that you have to file even though you don't owe the tax, okay? And there's very, very strict penalties. $5,000 penalty for individuals that are supposed to file the form and do not file the form. $10,000 penalty for corporations that are supposed to file the form and do not file the form. And basically what we need to determine is if you're an excluded owner, and I'll try to keep it as simple as I can because it is complicated. If you own a house, your principal residence, if that's the only house you own, don't worry about it. You're not affected by this underused housing tax. If you own a cottage, okay, if you own a principal residence on a cottage, you're okay as long as you have minimal use of that cottage. So we're okay there. Where we run into problems is if we have a house, and let's just say there's two people. We do this a lot for estate planning. We have a senior citizen, and from an estate planning point of view, it might make sense to put the kids on title to avoid that asset going through the estate. The minute we put a second person on title, the question is, are you holding the property in trust? Okay, and that's the big question here with a lot of these situations, whether there's a house being held in trust. For example, for mortgage financing, sometimes we need to put somebody on title to qualify for a mortgage. In that case, that person might be on title in trust. So anytime you have more than one owner, understand that you might get caught by this. For example, if a husband and wife own a house, but all the money came from one side, the husband might be owning the house in trust for the wife, or deemed to be. We have to file the form, even if there's no unused portion of that home. Every corporation that owns a rental property must file this form. In our world, we use bare trusts a lot. A bare trust is where you own the property in your personal name, but for whatever reason, we want that asset shown in the corporation, we would create a bare trust agreement. In those cases, we have to file these forms. So if there's actual formal trusts, okay, we need to file these forms. So there's a lot of times where we need to file this form. If you own a rental property, if it is not occupied for more than 6 months of the year, not only do you have to file the form, you also have to pay a vacancy tax, okay? Now, this legislation passed recently in February. It came out and the filing deadline was April 30th. Now, we in the accounting profession, we were quite offended with that, where you bring in new legislation. It's quite complicated. And they're telling us we have to file all these forms by April 30th. So once again, like many times, we revolted, we lobbied to the government to give us more time. We now have until the end of September. Okay, end of October. So October 31st is our new filing deadline. So be aware of that. Reach out if you think you're going to get caught. Again, the people that are going to be required to file this form are those where there's multiple ownership on the house. We have to figure out if anybody's owning the house in trust for somebody else. If you're involved in bare trust situations, we need to file the form. If you have a property inside of a corporation, we need to file the form. So most of us are going to get caught. I strongly recommend that you Google this underused housing tax. I could talk about this for an hour, but I'm not going to tonight. Tonight is just kind of an alert to everybody that this is out there now. Who knows whether the government will enforce these penalties? They're very strict. We always hate it when the government imposes a penalty if you don't file one of their forms. That's really reverse tax. And in this case, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get caught with this tax without even knowing it. So do your homework. I'm warning you here tonight. This is new. This has come out. If in doubt, reach out, ask me. If you got any questions right now, I'm glad to answer your questions on this. If anybody has heard of this or think they might be subjected to this. So other than that, I'll leave it at that now. I just really wanted to bring a warning out to everybody. It's out there. It's a severe penalty, and it affects a lot of us, especially in the real estate rental world.
Excellent. Thank you, Jerry. I really appreciate it, my friend. So this is Jerry by the Canadian Investment Services.ca or 416-979-7426. Leave a message if you want to set up a consulting, and he'll be happy to speak to you, and hopefully he can help you to move forward, whatever your situation is though. So moving forward, we're going to be bringing our friend, I'm sorry, Rory won't be able to use us tonight. Rory is my best-selling author for 5 times, and he is Trader of the Year, who won't be able to join us tonight. But we're going to bring our next guest speaker. She's a lawyer, Jyoti Chaudhry. She has degrees from India, UK, and Canada, by the way. And she's going to be enlightening us about something about real estate and law. Jyoti, it's all yours, my friend.
Thank you, Navtaj, for your introduction and for inviting me to talk to your investors. I'm happy to be able to give my input to your seminar. I'm going to be talking about a little bit about private mortgages and a little bit about title insurance. As you all are aware, the real estate market and the real estate prices have been on a roller coaster in the past year, ever since the bank started increasing the mortgage rates last year. So this year, the banks are holding the rates, and there is some rebound in the real estate market. Now, how much of a rebound is there is difficult to say, because 1 year stories about penny offers, and then 1 year stories about some properties staying on the market for months together. So it is very difficult to figure out what is actually happening. And there is no crystal ball to predict the real estate prices this year or in the near future. But there are some facts which have emerged and which I will be talking about and will need to be dealt with by the average property owner or prospective purchaser of property. The first fact is that some homeowners in Canada are finding themselves in a tough position as they approach the time to renew their mortgage, because the rates have increased so substantially, and the banks are giving a hard time for the mortgage borrowers. So people are turning to alternative lenders. Renewal period is a stressful situation even in normal times, but now in these times, it is creating a lot of panic and a lot of stress with property owners. Now, in some cases, and in fact, I've had a lot of cases where private mortgage lenders are not willing to renew the mortgage with the existing borrowers. This is basically the result of dropping home prices, and private lenders are not sure of the current appraised value of the property. So what is happening is that private mortgages are not being renewed by the private lenders, and borrowers are being asked to pay back the mortgages on maturity. It's a very difficult situation for a borrower to be in, because the banks are not going to approve them. They've already taken a private mortgage, and their only option is to seek another private mortgage. There are various reasons a person seeks out a private mortgage loan or one through a bank. Someone may seek out a private lender if they haven't been able to go through the channel successfully. So they go to through the private route for second mortgages. So what happens is they have a first mortgage with the bank is in first position, but that is not enough. They need more money. And you cap the amount you can borrow from the bank. And this happens a lot with builders, small time builders, for maybe building a single family house or something and they run out of money. So in such situations, the borrower would like to go to a private lender. But you have to keep in mind that even the private lender requires the client to have good credit. And they do ask for a credit report just so that they can show the investors or the lenders there is a path to getting repaid. Now, what is happening is with the decline in home prices, the loan to value ratio has changed, meaning that the value of the home is worth less than what the private lenders originally lent on. So that loan to value, if it goes beyond that 75% range, that's where a private lender might decide not to renew. And those clients, if they're still unable to qualify, they would have a difficult time moving it elsewhere. Normally, private mortgages are typically 1 or 2 year loans, unlike with a bank. And typically, private lenders don't want to lend these funds out for more than a year. They want to have them back so that they can invest in other files. So that for them is a more lucrative way of doing their business, because every time they lend the money, they get their lenders' fees and other things that they would like to charge the borrower. So they are not going to give private mortgages for 2 years in a hurry, or it's normally for a year, and at the end of the year, they want their money back. So if you're in a situation where a private lender doesn't want to renew, your option is to go to a family member or someone close to you to co-sign on the renewal to get you out of the private lending situation. However, this is not an option that most borrowers will have at their disposal. It is not open to everybody. This is the first fact that has emerged relating to private mortgages. And the second fact that I found, which is closely connected to borrowing funds from private lender, is the requirement of title insurance imposed by the private lenders. Now, title insurance is a requirement for most borrowers taking a mortgage even from the bank. But private lenders insist on it, and title insurance companies are giving a hard time to get the policy issued. They need a lot of verification from the borrowers regarding their IDs, they want color IDs and back and front and back and all those things. So it's not easy to get title insurance for a private mortgage. Of course, everything is being done, but it has its own difficulties, and we have to overcome those difficulties. Let me tell you what title insurance is. It is an insurance policy that protects residential or commercial property owners and the lenders against losses related to the property's title or ownership. Basically, when you purchase property, you are the owner of the property and you want clear title or good title. And if there is any problem with the title, then title insurance is going to cover those losses. Technically, word title is a legal term that means you have legal ownership of property. You obtain title to a property where the owner signs the deed and transfers the property over to you. All the property information is available on the government-run land registration system. So as lawyers, when we pull, say, the parcel page of a property, we are able to get the full history of the property, right from the time it was converted or it was built, all the information regarding the first owner, the second owner, how many mortgages, what are the easements, what are the bylaws, what are the other instruments registered on title, if there's a second mortgage or not. We get all that information just by pulling out the parcel page. So the one thing that I wanted to point out to you is that title insurance is not a requirement in Ontario. It is not mandatory. However, like I mentioned earlier, for most borrowers, title insurance is mandatory if they're taking a mortgage, even from a bank, And banks require to secure the mortgage with title insurance. Now, if it's a bank, then we do not have the difficulties of getting title insurance from the title insurer. It is done in the normal court, and there are no additional barriers to it, which we have to get from the client, or the client has to answer some additional questions for verification, things like that. For the bank, it is quite straightforward. And I would also like to state that title insurance does not replace legal advice when purchasing a property. So even if you're purchasing without a mortgage, it is not mandatory to get title insurance, but as a lawyer, I would recommend getting title insurance because it covers so many title defects. For a one-time fee, which is called the premium, it is paid only at the time of purchase. A title insurance policy provides protection from losses such as unknown title defects that impact your ownership of the property, existing liens against the property title, such as unpaid debt secured against the property by a previous owner, including utility bills, mortgages, property taxes, and condominium charges. Now, what happens normally is when the transaction is being completed by the respective lawyers of the purchaser and the seller, we have something called a statement of adjustments, where we say that, okay, these are the taxes that have been paid, and so on and so forth. So we adjust the taxes, the property tax, and if there are any common expenses to the date of the closing. But it could happen that something was transferred to the tax roll because the previous owner did not pay. And sometimes it is impossible to get the previous owners to pay those charges, and we have to put in the title insurance claim. So that is another advantage of a title insurance policy. Then also it will help if there are any encroachment issues. For example, there is a structure on a property that encroaches on your neighbor's property. So if one has a title insurance policy and you look at it the other way around, the neighbor's structures encroaching on your property and he's not doing anything about it, then you can go to the title insurance provider and say that you would like to be reimbursed and you would like them to rectify this. Also, if there are any errors in surveys and public records, that is also covered by a title insurance policy. And any other title-related issue that may affect your ability to sell, mortgage, or lease your property in the future. Now, title fraud, this is one thing that lately we've been hearing about it a lot, and people are impersonating the actual owners and selling properties. So if you have title insurance, that can cover title fraud. And the thing about title insurance is you have it when you purchase the property, but in case you don't have it, you can purchase it later as well. And all you need to do is to pay a one-time fee called a premium. Now, the other important question is you pay a one-time premium, but how long does the coverage last? The coverage lasts till you own the home. And the title insurance policy extends the coverage to heirs through a will, to a spouse in the event of a divorce, and to your children also if the parents transfer the property to them. So purchasing title insurance is a good option for most buyers, even if they're not taking a mortgage. And what you have to do, or rather what we do as lawyers, is we make sure that your property is insured for its full value, and the policy's effective date is the same as the property's closing date. These are for policies obtained at the time of purchase. And we carefully review your policy to ensure that it correctly describes all of the property you're purchasing. And we explain to you what title-related losses your policy will cover. And if there are exclusions, which at times there are, we explain the exclusions as well. So when you go to a lawyer, the lawyer's job is to provide legal advice so that you can make an informed decision about title insurance and whether you need to purchase it or not. There could be some exclusions with title insurance, which could include known title defects, which were not known to you before, which were known to you before you purchased your property. Environmental hazards like soil contamination, native land claims, problems only discovered by a new survey or inspection of your property. For example, the property is smaller than originally thought. Issues that were not listed in public records, such as unrecorded liens and encroachments, zoning bylaw violations from changes, renovations, additions to your property. So you bought a house which has been renovated, and I mean, although the seller says that everything has been, done with approval, city approvals, there may be some minor things for which he may not have got the approval. So title insurance will cover those zoning bylaw violations as well. But the important thing to note is title insurance does not provide compensation for non-title related issues. Basically, it is only for title related issues, not for non-title related issues. Also, by paying an additional fee, some title insurance companies offer protection from additional risks that a standard title insurance policy may not cover, such as identity theft and certain known title defects. This is an important coverage, and sometimes they provide coverage for lawyers' negligence as well. So we take the title insurance policy on the specifics of the transaction, and we decide, how we want to order the policy. So there are two types of title insurance policies. There's one which is the owner's policy, and that protects you from various title-related losses listed in the insurance policy, and will set a maximum amount of coverage. Then there is a lender's policy. Protects the lender from losses in the event the property's mortgage is invalid or unenforceable. A lender's policy usually provides coverage for the amount of the property's mortgage. So basically, both the homeowner and the lender are protected with title insurance. And this is something that, as a lawyer, I always recommend to my clients, that even if you're not taking a mortgage, you are covered for a lot of title-related issues if you purchase title insurance. And you have also different types of title insurance, such as residential title insurance, which you will get if you are purchasing a residential property or a condominium. And there is a comprehensive coverage as well. It protects you from losses related to the property's title. It may also provide coverage for any risk to your title due to a lawyer's negligence or error. So comprehensive coverage is a good way to go. Gap coverage. So it insures you for the gap between the time your property purchase finalizes and registration is complete in Ontario's land registration system. Then we have the survey coverage. So the survey coverage eliminates the need for a new up-to-date survey of your property. And it is acceptable to most lenders as an alternative to survey or real property report. There's also legal coverage. This coverage will pay for most legal expenses involved in defending your home's title. So if you happen to be a victim of a fraudster who has stolen your personal information or forged documents to transfer your home's title to him or herself without your knowledge, you're covered for that with the title insurance policy. And you can submit a claim through the government's Land Titles Assurance Fund. For more information on the Land Titles Assurance Fund, you can visit www.ontario.ca Service Ontario and search for Land Titles Assurance Fund. If you want, I could send you the site and what you need to search for by an email, or I can put it up right now if you need me to. Then also, like my friend was talking about vacancy tax. If the home has been vacant for more than 6 months, City of Toronto and City of Ottawa have introduced a vacancy tax. Title insurance covers a loss relating to a residential property vacancy tax in the province of Ontario at no extra cost, provided that certain requirements are met. So if you meet the requirements, then you're covered for that as well. I mean, I could talk more about it, but I think for now, this should be sufficient. And in case you have any questions, please feel free to call me. My cell number is there. My landline is there, and you have my law office address. So I would be more than happy to discuss anything with you regarding real estate purchase, sale, private mortgage, refinance, and related matters. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you, Navtaj, for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you so much for enlightening us about title insurance. Title insurance does not mean everything. Do the property go to foreclosure power sale or title insurance? Yes, they do. Title insurance does not mean you're protected from the lenders. Some lenders they require a title insurance, and there are some lenders who will deny a mortgage if you don't have a title insurance on it. It's always a good idea to have it, but again, speak to your lawyer or speak to Jyoti Chaudhry, 416-880-8759. Just send her text message to set up a private meeting one-on-one, and she'll be more than happy to share information with you. She has done a few deals for us in the past, and she has been working with investors. So she's an investor-friendly lawyer. Thanks, Jyoti. Moving forward with this thing.
Yes.
We're going to move forward with what's happening with the market. I'm going to bring somebody who specializes in this area, and that lady is Randi Goodman, international speaker, 10 times #1 international best-selling author. Here is Randi Goodman. Randi, it's all yours, my friend.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Navtaj, for having me. I have David Himmelfarb with me as well, who is my son and has reactivated his license. And I'm going to give him the floor. David, are you there?
I am here. You can hear me?
We can hear you. If you can turn your camera on, that'll be really good.
Okay, please forgive me. I am on the go.
Okay, no problem.
And
sorry? Request granted, sir.
Okay, so
go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, just please forgive me for that. I am on the go. I did want to add my 2 cents before I let Randi take it away. Before Randi gives you a little bit of insight into what she's going to share, I just wanted to share more so what I have been involved in. I've been focused on the pre-construction segment that I know you mentioned briefly, and I just wanted to give some insight into what my conversations are like with my prospective buyers. Generally, the idea of pre-construction is great. Over the last 15 years, it has generally performed very well, with the rates being so low where they were and the price of real estate just flying through the roof. People have been doing a very good job putting that 50,000 in and selling on assignment, or just making a huge amount of equity. Now, in recent years, with the interest rates, or sorry, the last year I should say, with the rates starting to fly up, that that way of investing in real estate and in specifically pre-construction is not as lucrative anymore, because we don't know where the appreciation is headed with the rates where they are now. So the people that bought a year or two ago are definitely getting hurt the most. And what I'm finding, and I'm more so looking specifically in the York region areas where I'm focused, is that, sorry, the prices that the builders are asking are a little bit outrageous. So looking at, newly built homes and recently built homes, we're finding that the cost of construction and the prices that the builders are charging are just a little bit outrageous. So in terms of end users, there are a lot of them are leaning away from buying directly from a builder. And of course, looking at it from the idea of the investor is that it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's very high risk right now. It's not like what it was pre the interest rate hikes. So that's a little bit that I could share with you guys, and I hope that gives you a little bit of understanding into what I've been open to over the last year.
Excellent. Thanks, David. And just to elaborate further, we will be approached by a bunch of builders and they want to sell us the property at a wholesale price. And we do is create a package. And that package will contain 2 or 3 years of no mortgage payments, fully, maybe one underground parking spot, an office space, and rental guarantee for 3 or 4 years. So this will crave in, and sometimes you'll find the builders who are stuck with inventory, unsold inventory, or default in inventory. They'll come out and they want to get rid of, because most of the builders, the profit is at the last end, and the profit unit margin is from 10 to 25%, and they cannot realize the profit until every unit is being sold. But anyway, it's a great info. Thank you so much for your input. Randy, it's all yours, my friend.
Thank you, and thank you, David. Yes, David's been working with people who are interested in pre-constructions, and when we found that either the developers are halting their projects or not providing info, or deciding that the construction costs are too high, or they don't want to lower their prices to match the market, the way it's changed in the last 6 to 10 months. David's been quite successful in showing people how a resale right now is quite valuable. Now, I wanted to add in that one of the changes that we're seeing right now in the market is that multiple offers are coming back in like a vengeance. So, between the interest rates and the, everything that's going on in the economy right now, are creating, and of course, the very low inventory that we have, people are wanting to buy, but there's not enough product out there for them. So they're fighting for what's out there. And especially in the $1 million to $1.5 million mark, they're really fighting for these properties. So if you have a property to sell, it's a great time to be on the market because chances are you're going to get more than you're expecting, and you will get multiple offers coming in. We do have a listing out right now. We have a couple, but one sold in 4 days, which was awesome. The other one that we have right now is, we still have our assignment sale, which is a 2-bedroom, 2 washroom, 2 parking spots condo, corner condo at the Keeley condos in North York for sale, asking $899, and happy to share info on that one with anyone who's interested if you want to pick up a pre-construction condo. And we also have a gorgeous luxury home in North York, Shepherd and Bathurst area, which is listed at 2.438. It has 4+1 bedrooms. It has 5 bathrooms. It's a gorgeous house in a nice size lot of 40 by 156 lot. And it's only an 18-year-old home. So if anybody's interested in information on those, happy to share. And if you have any questions about the market or properties that you own or your own property, and you just want a comparable or information, we're happy to share that with you. No obligation, no charge. Happy to do that. So please reach out if you're interested in getting any kind of market information. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Randy. Thank you so much for your time and insightfulness. And we're gonna move forward. From Randy onward to the legal disclaimer is just to let you know that it's illegal to operate as a mortgage broker or a realtor without having proper license. It's illegal to charge a finder fee, but it's perfectly legal to buy a property and sell it by yourself. It's okay to assign it. So make sure you get advice of a lawyer first before you enter any contract. And my recommendation is always let the lawyer prepare all the contract for you. That's not your cup of tea. That's the lawyer's job. Contract is legal documentation. Again, do your proper due diligence, dig deeper. Otherwise, you may end up buying a lemon and you may not be very happy about it though. So let's talk about something what's happening in the market. So always talk about, hey, is that what you love? Ikagai, what you love, what you're good at it, the word you need it, and you're gonna get well paid. If real estate investment is your passion, oh my God, we are blessed, my friend. We are absolutely blessed if you have the passion though. Moving forward, Toronto office is getting emptier. Ooh, what does that mean? Well, it has several different interpretations to it. And this is not a good news because the rising vacancy rate is not going to helpful for those people who are holding into REIT, real estate investment trust. And now this thing is nothing new. I remember in Calgary, where we still have a lot of empty towers. We remember in the East Coast, in Maritimers, where we empty towers, we can buy it. We can buy a tower. Please listen to this carefully. And I'm going to say it only once. You can buy an office building for $1 Canadian. Would that be exciting? And these towers eventually will be turned into residentials or something. And there are certain laws, and there are something which are called surplus properties. These properties, most of these office towers are owned by the private companies, and they are going to utilize it. And hopefully they may going to turn around and turn into residentials and add up a lot more into rental inventory. But this is something happening, just be aware of it. This new technology is working both ways. It worked both ways, by the way, be aware of it. And the highest rate of vacancy in Canada is in Edmonton, which is approximately 43%. And the Toronto is not that bad, even 20% is getting there. And it's alarming. And one has to be very careful if you are into this type of business or if you're looking for opportunity. There are some grants available for you, by the way, in case you want to buy a small office building, turn into residentials. Depending exactly what you want to do, there could be several different options available for you. And it may not have to be all your money. And it can be done more than one way. Second thing I'd like to share with you about Toronto. We're still the king of the cranes, 238 cranes still deployed in Toronto. Number second one is Seattle, only 51 cranes. LA, the city of angels, only 47, and Denver only have 36, by the way. So we are more or less dominating across North America. In my opinion, we are almost dominating across the globe. We have more construction going on in Toronto than anywhere else. These are the cranes we're talking about, which are building. And this did not have slowed down. So this is good news in the province of BC, British Columbia. What are they saying? Hey, you can turn your single family home into 4 units. Excellent. Love the news. So more or less, this is going to be happening across Canada, slowly but surely, that you can turn into basement unit to potential, even duplex, townhouses, and triplexes. Why? There's a huge need for housing, and we can't build fast enough. So what is the second alternative way? Hey, turn around, rezone, planning, and see if it is feasible, if the utilities are there, and if the infrastructure can handle it, can we turn into 4 units? So this is gonna eventually pop into Ontario, by the way, and those who with a single family home, you may gonna find, hey, listen, this is gonna become a sandwich family. Sandwich families are already existing across Canada, grandparents, parents, and the children are living in the same house. And sometimes you're tenant to 4 families living in the same house. So this is somehow good news because of the cost of real estate, and your salary may not gonna match. So this could be good to have additional income. We'll be introducing you some new lenders who are focused on these type of deals, and they look into taking everything as a face value. What I mean is the rent. The income you need, this is a little scary, by the way, and this income you need to buy a house in Canada, if you look at people's CR's tax returns and what the market wants you to do, it's becoming difficult. And that's why a lot of private mortgages are already getting hold of the market, and they are getting much bigger share than ever before. Just to let you know what you need in Vancouver and Toronto, what kind of income you need, to 80,000 to 200,000 income. That is not an average Canadian's income, by the way. It is only for the super rich people who can afford to buy a single family home to live in. And that intend to question. If you look at the St. John's in the Halifax or in the Maritimes, you only need 50 to 75,000 to afford a house compared to 200,000. So that's why there is a drain of a lot of Ontarians are moving to East or West Coast, and simply because they want to raise a family and they want to go where the housing is cheaper and they got a decent job. But again, this is how it works. That's how it works. If you want to buy a condo, that's not cheaper either. 107,000 in Toronto, but 115,000 in Vancouver. So condos are not as cheap or the best option because the lifestyle have changed. People don't get married that easily. They don't even have a spouse. They don't mind living in a pigeonhole or a small condo. No offense, but again, there's a demand for it. People want to walk to work. They don't want to have a car or so on. It's a part of lifestyle. And if you see the condos in Vancouver, it's kind of crazy. Vancouver and Toronto have something in common. We are pretty identical. We are facing, for example, Lake Ontario on the south side and the Greenbelt on the north side. And we have the largest greenbelt in the universe, 350 kilometers long. Vancouver is the same thing. One is the mountain, other is the ocean. So where do you go? Not much place to go to. So they have to build vertically. Moving forward, why invest in GTA? So here is something from last 1969 to 2019. The growth in real estate has been much better than a lot of things. It's we call compound growth rate is 7.5%. Better than anything else. Again, take a picture. This is a record. This is based upon GTA only, by the way. So don't get carried away if you happen to be not in GTA, but it's a pretty good return, no matter which way you look at it. 1979 to 1974, what happened in 89, and how this thing has gone upside down. Now, moving forward, these are some of the cheapest places where people can go and live there. This could be quite exciting for certain people because, hey, listen, it's not about people in a bigger city. They also want to raise their family. And they just want to have a good time. They don't want to get stuck for an hour and a half in Toronto in the traffic or 2 hours in Vancouver. So people prefer to move to the smaller cities as well. And you might have noticed that a lot of these towns are in Quebec, Saskatchewan, Newfoundland, and Edmonton, and of course, Alberta. These are the couple of provinces which are a lot more affordable, but rents are not that cheap. So that's another reason why we recommend a lot of Canadians to invest in Alberta, because real estate is still much, much cheaper there compared to Toronto, and the rents are pretty reasonable, and they have much better situation there. They don't charge in Alberta. There's land transfer taxes like less than $300 compared to Toronto. Toronto is like 15,000 for 500,000 house. So you look at all the dollars, nickels, and dimes, and then you find, hey, maybe Edmonton is not a bad deal, or Calgary is a pretty good place to go to. This is about interest rate. People get shocked. Hey, interest is so high compared to what? If you look at it in 2008 onward, because of whatever happened in US, the disaster, it took us a long time to recover from it. The interest rate cannot stay low forever. If you look at back from 1992 onward, average interest rate, it was much higher than what we are paying now. We're still paying a lot less. In my opinion, if the interest rate go up to 7-8%, you should be able to handle it. Think that way, plan that way, design that way. And if you are not projecting, you could be in deep water in no time. Because real estate is not as a lot of people think. Unless otherwise you're getting into multi-units and you're getting a CMHC for 25-year mortgages, that's a different ballgame altogether. Are we in buyer's market? This is kind of funny how people are looking into it. I'm under a bit of under the weather, but I'm going to pull through it no matter what. So average interest rate is 5.78% from 1990 to 223, which is not a bad rate. If you compare the rates in the 80s, when they reach about 17 point, almost 18%. So you look at it from the past and say, hey, this is not bad. This is pretty good, actually. This is just your prospect. No matter what you do, you have to deal with it. So if you can deal with it in a positive note, you are much, much better off. And talking about, all right, I'm making a check with him if he possible. I have a special friend online today, and he is walking. So I'm going to ask him if he can participate tonight as well. Oh, that'll be good. Subprime mortgage. Is it improving? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? Depend who do you ask. So based upon my little experience for the last 40 plus years onward, there are two types of lenders. Now, the private lenders are mostly mortgage investment corporations, and then we have the banks, and then we have credit union trust companies, the Ontario's teachers pension plan onward. But this is something which is kind of alarming, that 1 in 10 people in Ontario are getting private loans. And that is almost double then. And this is kind of risky because private mortgages are not cheap. Their term is short, and you pay hefty lender fee. You also have to pay a mortgage broker fee, and the term is mostly about 1 year or so. So be aware of it. Sometimes private mortgages are the blessings in disguise when you're in a short term. And if you want to hold on to the property and see how can I turn it into a lender, and whatever is required, to make sure you have a good mortgage broker. You plan ahead of the time. You don't plan at the last minute, and that may gonna save you a lot of hassle. Are we in buyer's market or seller's market? Now, this is something we would have different opinions from time to time, and depends who you speak to. Now, as I said, 25,000 for 600 will be ready to get the real estate market. This is gonna be another 6,600 from the previous unit. Let's say about 32,000 condos altogether. The problem is this one: the speculators who bought these condos, 2, 3, 4 of them at the same time with 50, 60, 100,000 deposit. Now they are struggling. The struggle is first to get a mortgage. Okay, they got the mortgage. They're able to close it. Now they have a negative cash flow. If you have 3, 4 units altogether, you got about 5,000 to 8,000 negative cash flow. How long can you last? That could put them into a situation where they might have to file a bankruptcy, or they might have to sell at a fire sale to get rid of those properties. So this is something you will come across from time after time, where people are calling you, Navtaj, yes, can you buy my house? Yes, can you do it tomorrow? Excuse me, tomorrow? Okay. Tomorrow is Saturday. No, tomorrow means Monday. Okay, whatever you say, boss. There is always a desperation in this market. No matter how the realtor tells you, realtors are telling you the truth. They are saying, hey, listen, on my listing, I got 11 offers. Perfect. But on the other hand, there is another part of the market which is suffering, and people can't get a mortgage on it. And they go to private lenders, the mortgage start from 10% or 8, 9, 10, 12%. And it's for a short-term basis. But again, be aware of it. You hear from everything, check it out. So this is a typical family The reason I want to show this to you, this is a real life. They bought a house in March 2022, and this couple thing, this is a nightmare. What happened? Their mortgage payment went from $2,800 to $4,400. It's $1,600 a month. So you look at the combined salary, $140,000, take home is $8,000, mortgage payment at 44. If you look at it, they have not much left for the food or groceries. And this is alarming. Now, my question to you, how long would they last? How long would they last? Unless otherwise they come up with some creative ideas to offset their expenses per month. Their expenses are $7,800 a month, and the income is to $8,000. And that does not include the food. And it is not far away from the truth. A lot of families are in deep water. They were not ready for 5% interest. They were not ready for from 1.5 to 4.5 or 5.2, whatever it is. And it got a lot of families into trouble. And having said that, one has to be careful that when you buy this type of property, the value of the property may be not there as much as what they paid for it. Some property values have by 30%. They are coming back maybe 5 to 10%, but not 30% yet. So just be aware of it. Just thought I should just share with you. This is good news for rentals. Rentals are up quite a bit because there's shortage. And as a matter of fact, there's a couple of news we just read that there is a gentleman who got caught. He did not realize it, that he slept in a car, which is a stolen car. And that's the only car he can find, had a door open. The guy was tired and said, okay, it's too cold. I jumped in the car. And now this is being investigated. I say, I'm not a thief. I'm a homeless person. I was cold. But again, that's something, you will see. And it's very sad to see there are so many homeless people in Canada, in Toronto especially. It breaks your heart every time you see somebody on the street. Two things that most people don't realize it. They can be their own bank with RSP money or TFSA. And please do not go off the grid. If you're an investor capital in RSP or TFSA, possibly invest in first mortgage. Be safe. Talk to your lawyer. Check it, your level. If you are a risk taker or not. It's not, the grid may gonna kill you. They're gonna wipe you out altogether. So if you're dealing with the people like superstars, there are a bunch of them here tonight, you can talk to them. Hey, listen, do you have another property coming up? I'd like to invest money with you. Give me 5% or 6%. I'm happy with 5-6%, but I'm safe. And you make an ask them, hey, can you throw a bonus for me? Can you do some sort of profit sharing with me? Pay me as a lender fee or bonus. And that can work out for you as well as the investor. Be creative. Not every time you have to go to a lawyer or a private lender. So there's something called forced home sales. These owners are in trouble. They have no option, but they have to sell. Why? How they got themselves in this situation? Well, whatever the reasons are, whether it's a loss of a job, or mortgage rates gone up, whatever the reasons are, or tenants are not paying rent. As a matter of fact, there was a classic story, three of them actually, quite a few of them actually, if you read Globe and Mail or Financial Post or some of the national newspaper, one guy owed more than $50,000 in rent. How many of you know that when tenant owes more than $50,000, you cannot even go to landlord and tenancy board, LTB. When this guy called me in, he said, Uncle Nav, I'm in trouble. I said, okay, how deep are you in trouble? He said, well, your tenant haven't paid rent for more than $50,000. Then I said, retain a lawyer. You have to go to the Superior Court of Justice. And he was shocked. He said, oh, nobody ever told me. And, well, I'm not a lawyer, but I know a lot of very good, capable lawyers. Go and see them. And now these people are in trouble because they are not able to make mortgage payment. They are not getting rent. And people who are renting it are the professional renters. Yikes. Not good for anybody, by the way. And those people, there have got to be new law for it. They're really, really bad. So forced home sales are like this. Interest rates are 1.5, now it's 5.5. Where are you going, buddy? Your mortgage is up from 3,000 to 5,000. And it's not going to go disappear. You have to deal with it. So these people have to understand, hey, listen, we are feeling it. We got ourselves in a situation now. What do we do? Of course, you need to take a loss. That's okay. In business or real estate, losses can be gain written off, capital gain or capital losses. In businesses, you can write up all the losses at the same time, but be aware of it that you're a good accountant, you have an excellent lawyer, and you have a proper team. And stick with the team and let them know exactly, hey, what's going on with you or with me. Should I get rid of all my 6 properties or should I keep 2 properties? Hey, there'll be another day. Do not put yourself in a situation where you can lose everything altogether. And we have a couple of scenarios with Mr. Johnson, I won't say his name, and Mr. Dixon. Like, hello, you have lost $300,000. Call it for the day and move on. What's going to happen? You hang in there. Nothing. You're going to lose everything what you got. You're going to become homeless. The lenders have no mercy on you. That's why we teach you the program called Power Sale. What does it take? How the power sale happens? And I'd like to bring somebody special. If I see if I can get him on the line right now, even the phone, it'll be very enlightening. I hope he is still here. Terry, are you there, my friend?
Oh, I'm here.
Excellent. You made my day, my friend.
I have finished my walk and I'm in my house now.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. So tell us what's happening with all the default and all the enforcement you're doing.
Well, they have certainly ramped up from typically 25 to 35 power of sales at any given time to we're up to about 135, 145 default files right now for various mortgage investment companies, private mortgage funds, private investors, mortgage brokers that have their own portfolio of mortgages. The hurt is definitely on for a significant number of Canadians. And as you said, Navtaj, sometimes they just need to realize that they need to list, sell, get out now, even if it's not getting the price that they had hoped for 6 months ago or a year ago. Better getting out earlier than waiting for the inevitable being tossed out by a mortgage lender, whether it's a bank, a trust company, or a private lender. So the tick up is there, even though the interest rates may start to slowly settle down a little bit. That will help some people, but there's many others that are just too far gone at this point for not necessarily reasons of their own, but the market or their job. They've lost their job, downsizing. Not their fault. And it's not bad for them to come to the realization that they need to list and sell ahead of the mortgagee selling for them.
Of course.
We have one file right now where the person was building a 5,000 square foot house. He has a bank first mortgage in default, a private second, and a private third that equates to the value of the property now that the market has dropped. He had a flood. He had no, it's in Thornhill actually. He had a flood in the basement. The first mortgagee took possession. He's now arranged for a $2.3 million new first mortgage with $100,000 lender fee to it. The existing second had to increase and registered a blanket mortgage on 2 other properties of this person. And the third mortgage also registered against the other 2 properties. And this person is asking, did I do the right thing?
Oh my Lord, okay.
And the real question, of course, is, okay, the house is 90% complete. If he actually has the wherewithal to now complete and list and sell himself as a new build house, is he better off? Time will tell.
It's tough, actually, though. I'm gonna ask you a second question here, Terry. Is the courts are open now for public yet, or still doing on the Zoom?
Is the what?
The courts, the Superior Court of Justice, is it open now?
The courts are now back open and granting judgments for default judgments, granting summary judgments against defaulting mortgagors. In some of the courts, it could be 6 months before you get into the court. Other courts are 3 months. Other courts are over a year. What I'm seeing also, Navtaj, a lot of the lenders, the private lenders have, yes, they've bumped up their rate. A lot of first mortgages at 8.99%, some higher. But what they're also doing is during the term of the loan, they have a bump up in their interest rate. So you might run a 6-month mortgage, but on the 5th month, it pops up by another 3%, or you might do a year loan, and in the 6th month or the 9th month or the 12th month, it'll pop up by 3% or 4%. I saw one private lender that increased it to 24%. I hope nobody is borrowing from that person. But that bump up is so that in the event the borrower defaults and tries to stall off the lender at least has a higher rate of return during that default, and it's more a stick to the borrower to refinance.
It's pretty painful out there for a lot of people. I know a few families. I've been trying to help them out, and it is no way, Jose type of thing. You try every possible way, and the people don't have resources, and they just the greed or emotions becoming homeless from homeowner to renter. It's pretty traumatic out there.
There's one file, Navtaj, in Woodstock, where Canadian Consumer Corporation, Canadian Choice Corporation, it's one of these lenders that that knocks on your door and says you need a new roof or gutters or something, and here's sign on the dotted line, and the person has no idea that they've just signed a massive, expensive contract. This particular one had registered nosies. For those that don't know what a nosy is, it's a notice of security interest to secure the lender or what the lender supposedly is doing. And in this case, this particular lender, I don't like to call him a lender, shyster, registered 3 different nosies, each for $40,160. And the homeowner had actually passed away. The mortgage, the institutional mortgage, the private mortgage, the legitimate mortgages took possession, listed, and moved to sell the property. And these 3 nosies were on title, and they wanted their money. We received a statement from them that said that the nosies were outstanding in the amount of $200,000 on a $350,000 house. And so this was the $40,160, $40,160, $40,160. It only adds up to $120,000 and change. And how do you get to the 200? So we dug deeper and asked for copies of the contracts. And one of them was for renovation to a bedroom. $40,160 to renovate a bedroom in a bungalow in Woodstock that was worth about $300,000 all told, the house. And the other $40,160 was to renovate the second bedroom. It was a 2-bedroom bungalow. And the other $40,160 was to renovate the kitchen.
Oh my
God. Do you want to guess whether any of this stuff was done?
Not at all, sir. I am dealing with the same situation about 3 months ago. A lady is 88 years of age in London, Ontario. She have 2 or 3 nosies. Something about if air filters, air conditioning, and furnace, whatever it is, 3-4 items, by the way, which were never been installed.
Never installed, and the work
never
the work
installed,
was not
signed.
Yeah,
So what
and
happened?
these bastards, pardon the language, actually thought that they were going to receive $200,000 out from the sale of the property, even though not one stick of work was done. Needless to say, they didn't get anything. But this is going on out there rampantly. And you mentioned an 88-year-old. It's typically the 75 to 85-year-old crowd that these hucksters are knocking on doors and getting these people to sign up these strange, weird contracts. So that's a problem, and they need to be reported to the police. If anybody out there comes across these type of things, please do report it to the police right away, and to the Law Society, to the FISRA. We need to knock out these bad people.
Also, what we did was, in this situation, I came to know who the company is. We called them up. I said, listen, we'd like to meet you in person, but we're going to bring some cameras. I'm going to call all the media, RCMP, the local cop, and OPP. And I also got to inform, the Attorney General. And this is a classic example. I want to elaborate it in the media so that nobody will ever dare to do that. So these buggers shut the company up and kind of disappeared. And now, we have nowhere to go to. So the poor lady ended up losing the home, 88 years of age. She lived all her life in the house. And her son called me and he said, hey, Uncle Nav, what can I do? The company does not exist anymore. So this is very sad. All across Canada, it's nothing in Ontario. It's so sad. But what can you do? Same thing with the court cases right now, for example, whether it's a landlord or whether it is you fighting for, whether it's a writ of possession, it's taking forever. And some people are getting more hurt than ever before.
So that's terrible stuff. But on the lighter side, or the flip side of all of this is that where there is this calamity, there is opportunity. And I think what you're really, what you're saying to your group, of course, is look for that deal, because there are deals out there.
Absolutely, you're right. We are doing a special training for power sale one day on April 23rd. At Baby Golf Club. If you're in town, welcome to join us.
April 23rd. My birthday.
All right. We can celebrate together then.
Okay, yeah. I'll leave you. Carry on.
All right. Thank you, Terry. Really appreciate it, my friend. And if you don't mind, maybe you can send me a list of what you got and see if we can work out some deals.
Okie dokie.
Thank you, Terry. Appreciate it. Here we go. You got a special gift for the day today. Terry Wallman is a friend of mine. He's a lawyer, mortgage enforcement. And he does what he does. We have been friends for a long time. A very helpful person, always. Every time I call him up, he's always there for us. So we're talking about defaults. Yes, there are a lot of defaults happening. No matter which way the market is going, people are defaulting no matter what. Things happen, and that's what it is. This is another one. 45% of Canadians who have the variable mortgages. And if the interest rates don't come down, they might have to sell. People are holding on to the dream. People are holding, maybe the mortgage rate is going to come down again to 2% again. Again, I'm an optimistic person, but knowing what's happening south of us in US, we are simply a reflection of US market. Their rates are going up. Tomorrow is the day for Bank of Canada to announce the latest rate. So far, they're saying there may not be an increment. It may gonna stay. And there are some political point of view. Hey, the budget is simply just came out, and they're settling with the budget right now, so there may not be any change. But again, everybody have opinion. So you be the judge, you be the jury. This is the biggest amount of chunk of money available, $2.2 trillion. Where is this money? The source is the Investment Funds Institute of Canada, by the way, $2.2 trillion available. For those people who are not qualified with the banks, where is this money? Money belongs to you. It's an RSP, TFSA, and some private funds. Once you become a full-time investor, you will find that, hey, private money is much easier and better. When it comes to a Canadian hard money lending, you don't want anybody to ask you a question. You want money in and out. You don't care if you're paying 15% or 20%. You just want to get the deal done because there's enough meat on the bone and you want to get the deal done. And that's important. Sometimes, it's the cost of doing business. Whatever the cost is, it'll be written off against your taxes or your expenses. There are investors, by the way, which are pretty high figures, by the way, according to Stat Canada. Every fourth Canadian who's a homeowner has multiple properties, by the way. The information came from Stat Canada. BC is about 23%, followed by Manitoba, 20%. For Ontario is 1/5, by the way, 20.2%. That information just came from Stat Canada. I just thought share with you that there are more investors in BC and Manitoba compared to Ontario. So we are not doing that great, but we are there. Those who are not familiar with it, these are the grants from the credit repair to forgivable Canadian real estate and business grants. We have few copies to sell. Just text us if you want it, and otherwise the offer expires the moment the meeting expires. All right. So that I'm a home junkie, by the way. Most of you know that. I'm one of those guys who love buying property from distressed sellers, and we are able to close majority of the deals in a day or so. Or we would prefer 7 days or 10 days, but if we have to close in 1 day, we are able to do so. So something else you should know about it. So those who want to become extremely successful, ask these 4 questions will lead you. Why not? Why not me? Why not now? These 4 questions will lead you to a lot more success than otherwise. And as we say, if you have never done something before, you're willing to learn it and get it done, hey, that's our motto. We have a real estate special training coming up. I'll let you know. Apprenticeship is continuing, by the way. Those who have involved in it, those who want to involve in it, this is a program which runs for 3 to 4 months. It's run online, in person, and we have cut down. We used to do all the programs live in 3 days, not anymore. We have been told people cannot grasp so much so quickly, so we have changed everything altogether. Though foreclosures and power sales coming, about 2 million homeowners can be in trouble, but again, that is something some of you may get notice. This notice came from CBA, Canadian Bankers Association. These are not totally up to date, but in case you want to check it out, go to cba.ca and check it out. Power of sales notices are flooding the GTA real estate market. That is one of the headlines from the newspaper. And people don't realize it. You only have to be 15 days behind. How many days, please? 15 only. 15 days you're behind before the power sale can begin. Okay, and it works. It works so fast. Sometimes you don't realize that. Oh my Lord, what do I got myself into it? There is something else I'd like to share with you that, hey, a lot of banks are holding back the default mortgages just to avoid the flood in the market. But you will see as the time goes along, they're going to release it so surely. There is going to be some sort of a price reduction, possibly. As would there be any? He's asking a question. If the foreclosures are available below market value, no, sir. We utilize the several different techniques to do it, but that works something differently. The defaults are happening all across Canada, by the way, and the defaults are much higher in Saskatchewan than go to Alberta. And now market is settling down, and there is a lot of defaults happening in Quebec. Montreal market have not done well so far. Just thought you should be aware of it. One more thing on a little note on the side. I know that a lot of our investors here from an area called Region of Peel, which is Mississauga, Brampton, and Georgetown. The Brampton have introduced a new, I think they're in the process of it, that they're going after all the illegal basement apartments or any illegal units there, and they're going to test it. and they're just gonna go. This is very common among the politicians. We had the same situation in Oshawa where the mayor was so fussy, there's no freaking way you can have a basement apartment. Again, they don't understand what exactly we provide as a mortgage and as real estate investors. We provide accommodation. We create a lot more rental units, whether it's a basement or whether it's a ADU, whether it is a garden suite or carriage house. We create that need. We are there for them. So this is something else came in. Some of you might have saw it in the city news. This is from BC, by the way. Canada's home prices could complicate private mortgage renewals because what happened here? The private lenders, they don't like to renew any mortgage. When they do, they charge a hectic fees. Typically, excuse me, 3 to 5% is pretty common. A renewal fees plus a legal fees. It does not sometimes make sense. So private lenders are also getting worried when prices start dropping. So be aware of it if you have a lender, and if you read it very carefully, you speak to a good lawyer or your mortgage broker. Hey, listen, if I need to renew a private mortgage, will there be a fee? And they will tell you yes, 3 to 5% of the lender fee, and there will be a fee for them for 1 to 2%. So just be aware of it. It's not as simple as banks. Private lenders do charge a lot more money. This is a sad part of it, and bankruptcies are up quite a bit in Canada. And this lead to some of those properties which come under insolvency. These are the small people, large corporations, and there's a special, we provide a special training for how to buy these insolvent properties. It's a complicated process. If you make one mistake, it's too many, and you will be doomed. This is one of this was the latest news from January 10th. One of the CEOs say, hey, tens of thousands of people can default due to rising rates. They're absolutely right, but the banks are not taking the actions yet. They're giving everybody second chance, third chance to try to figure it out, how we can figure it out. Can we give you another loan? Depends upon your financial situation. Are you going to rent part of the house out? Can you rent the room out or something? Banks are really, really, really bending backward. About 20,000 clients, according to Bank of Nova Scotia CEO. He said about 20,000 clients. That's a humongous. This is when the private mortgage lenders say, I want out. I see the property value dropping, but there may not be any equity. What does that mean? So you will find a lot of properties come in and they need to sell very fast. Here is a scenario. 80% of all the power sale or foreclosures across Canada, in my opinion, are done by private lenders, mortgage investment corporations, and so on. And 20% of them are because the banks are a bit strict. They intend to qualify you. They look at everything. They also go through the stress test. But banks are not that far. Banks are also feeling the pain, by the way. Why this town has ground zero for default mortgages. This is 80% of homeowners in Milton have mortgage. That's a pretty high number compared to any town in Canada. Why Milton? Well, it's mostly first-time home buyers. It's a satellite city away from Toronto, and people just bought it to move in. And those people who are from renting to owners, and they didn't have enough savings. So that's why you will find that every time we go in Milton, you will find there's a huge stress and anxiety among those homeowners, and they're looking for the choices. They call you in, say, hey, listen, can you give me a mortgage? Can I make a payment a little later on? Can you defer me payments or whatever while I'm doing? I'm going to make a basement apartment or rent a room to somebody. Can you just give me a break? Can you take over the mortgage? It's a private mortgage. So this is sad, but very truthful. Risky private mortgages have soared by 72%. That was a big topic in March, by the way. This was everywhere in the media, by the way. Why? Because people can't qualify for the banks, and banks are becoming a lot more stricter than ever before. Ever since February 2022, last 1 year or so, if you've been to the bank, you might have seen that they intend to decline a lot of mortgages, even though you feel that you're qualified. But anytime they see a bit of red flag, decline, decline, decline. This is something which came from one other newspaper. 1.1 million Canadian homeowners, which are due for renewal, could be up for the rude awakening. That is interest rate from 1.5 to 5.5. Mortgage payment going from 3,000 to 5,000. I don't know how many Canadians have that kind of leverage or extra money to support the lifestyle. So there might be a time where people have to look into certain options, maybe downsize it, rent it out, or just simply get out and maybe, take the losses and walk away from these properties. We have one-day training coming on April 23rd on Sunday. And those who are interested in it, we will, you let us know, we will be more than happy. We have masterclass this Sunday on 16th of April, especially on a very special request for a lot of people. And they're saying, you're not doing it on the weekend. Okay, do it on Sunday afternoon. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we heard you. It's almost sold out on April 16th. We may have few seats available. Those who have not bought it, never attended it, please buy the ticket. You'll be happy you did, though. Moving forward, this eyewitness training is coming on May 11th. And this is a very powerful training. Some of you may realize, but you see something, you don't forget for the rest of your life, though. Extremely, extremely recommended. And those who are interested in it, send us a text message. We'll look into that. One of the worst lien you can have is called a CRS proprietary lien. This lien doesn't go anywhere. And this causes a lot of trouble. Most people do not know that, how to look for the lien, where the lien is registered, how do you find it out, how much you owe. One of the lien which you cannot really negotiate is from Canada Revenue Agency. You didn't pay the taxes. You didn't pay HST. And CRA is not very kind to you. First and foremost, if you don't file your tax returns in time, there's a 5% penalty right away. 5% penalty right away. Then 1% compound interest per month. That's the only government agency utilize the compound interest on top of interest. And their lien cannot be taken away, by the way. And there were 4 million, we got 40 million Canadians now approximately. And there were 44 million Canadians might be in trouble not paying their taxes in time or so. So the next meeting will be held online here on second week of Tuesday. I believe the month will be May, from May, yes. And make sure that you get your membership. I want to sincerely thank everybody for being here tonight. If anybody has any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer for you. We still have Randi Goodman, we have Jyoti Chaudhry here, and I believe we have a few other people on the line, which might be Jyoti's here, Randi is here, David is here, and myself is here. With 4 or 5 speakers here. You're welcome to ask any question you like right now, and the floor is yours before we call it quit for the evening. Anybody have any questions? Please put in the Q&A. No questions. Oh, excellent. You did a good job then. We're going to wrap up very shortly. If there is no question asked, we want to say thank you very much for everybody. We want to wrap up every meeting before 9. But if it is 9 o'clock, we'll wait for a few seconds. Okay, those who want to attend Power Sale training, please text me. We'll be more than happy to provide you information. We'll be more than happy on. How do you get to know about Power Sale houses? Interesting. That's a question asked by Anu. The moment that you default, the lender is going to take a legal action after 16th day, and depends who do you know, what do you know, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's a private lenders, and usually what happened with experience. Okay, this is interesting. This is usually go to a lawyer, we call mortgage enforcers. And these are lawyers, they are specialized in this. On 60, they send a letter, pay up or get sued type of thing. And Terry Wallman said, when can we get a new federal government? Okay, I'm not sure if this is pertaining to it. John Clark asked, this is not public knowledge. It's not like other places. Power of sale in Ontario is a process where the lender's lawyer only have to go to court. Plus 15 days, the default, and 35 to 45 days, the wait for redemption. After that, the lawyers can start taking action, filing 2 motions to Superior Court of Justice, depending upon where you are and if the courts are behind, when you're going to get in. And it's not becoming public knowledge compared to other provinces where they have a list of pre-foreclosures and so on. We do not have a list in Ontario. It comes through with experience and knowledge, because I've been around for a long time. People know of me, or people know of other people. And these leads come to us, and we also teach you how to do the marketing and steroids, so you get majority of the deals. Mr. Coker said, will there be a link to the training focused on us on the class? You can send us a text message at 416-409-7300. I'll be more than happy to answer it for you. Where do you see the interest rate by 2024? Well, that's something, $1 million question. I have no clue. I do believe that it's going to be settled down eventually. Where can I find these houses? They're everywhere, all across Canada and everywhere. Could be your neighbor across the street from you. And people don't make it as public. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it, sir. And time has come to call it quit. I want to sincerely thank you to Randi Goodman, Jyoti Chaudhry. She's the first time here tonight. She's a lawyer, very happy to assist you. You can send her a text message, and she is located in the heart of Brampton. I've dealt with her for a long time, know her, we are like family friends. Highly recommended lawyer, especially if you are an investor, you're a beginner, you want to do a joint venture agreement, you're buying a house, selling a piece of property, anything to do with real estate, she will guide you. And her fees is pretty reasonable compared to other lawyers. She's easier to deal with.
Thank you, Nav.
Is there any website where you can find properties? None, thank you. There's no websites available out there. All right, thank you very much, and good night, everybody. Thank you for attending tonight, and we'll look forward to see you next time. Take care, and God bless.
Thank you, Nav, for everything.
Thank you. Welcome to you.
And good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.